What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to MedVice. My name's Jacob. It is about 8:20, May 28th, and tomorrow I'm scheduled to sit and take Step 2 CK. It's been a long time coming. It was a headache to get this spot. I was supposed to take the exam back in March, but with all the stuff going on, got rescheduled, canceled a couple times. The night before, now I'm just getting all of my stuff together. I've got my little snack bag for the breaks, just a couple things in there. I've got my testing permit printed out, and all the testing centers now are requiring that people wear masks during the exams, so that's going to be interesting. But at this point, I feel like there's not much more I could have done. I don't think any more time or any more studying would really help. And I feel like people get to that point. You know, if you've ever sat for the MCAT or a big test, at some point there's just not much more you can do, and you just got to go for it. So that's what's going to happen. The nerves are starting to kick in, but I feel like I've done everything I can. I studied my butt off, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. So the next time you see me, I will be a free man. Well, it's all done. It is 5 o'clock, and I just got back. I'm done with Step 2, and because they canceled CS, that's my last boards exam for the rest of med school. And it was tough. It was hard. I mean, I didn't go in expecting it to be easy, but it was tough, and there were some surprises for sure. Don't get me wrong, I'm really excited. I'm really happy that I'm done, that I'm over with, that I don't have to deal with it anymore. But after a 9-hour test, you're exhausted. It's over, and you just want to come home and not do anything or talk to anyone, because all they're going to do is ask about it. Nobody really ever feels good coming out of them. Even if you end up doing well during the test, you are stressed and you're tired and you've been studying. Your brain hurts. You probably have a headache. I had a headache towards the end, and it's just a lot going on. But now that I am all done, I wanted to hop on here right away to get my immediate reaction, my immediate thoughts after taking the exam, and kind of going over it for people who aren't familiar and for people who are getting ready to take it or have already taken it, just to share my experience with it all. So I guess first things first, I feel okay. With these tests, it's really hard to gauge how you did right off the bat. Like, I think the only thing I'm confident about is that I passed. But aside from that, I mean, some blocks of questions went better than others. For me, usually towards the end, I get really fatigued and tired. So I think my last block might have been my worst, but it still wasn't awful. One thing I will say is, this is something that is common with me, but I just don't sleep well before these things. So I went to bed at 9 o'clock, but I didn't end up actually falling asleep, I feel like, until around 11. And I got up at 5:50, 6 o'clock to get ready and to drive to the testing site. And that's just something that is common with me. I don't know if it's nerves or, I was just anxious, and, my adrenaline was running last night, but I don't sleep well before these things. So that kind of sucked. Well, for those of you out there who don't know what Step 2 CK is and how it works, it is a 9-hour test that consists of 8 blocks of 40 questions that you have an hour to do. So the actual question portion is 8 hours, and then you get an hour of total break time that you can kind of split up and use however you want during the day. So honestly, I think what surprised me most, aside from the questions where I just didn't even remotely recognize what they were talking about, I feel like a lot of topics got hit hard and not repeated, but they hit the same thing multiple times. I feel like I got 3 or 4 questions on von Willebrand's factor, and I feel like I got 3 or 4 on orthostatic hypotension, which I feel like you usually don't see because there's such a massive array of information. They try not to repeat too much, but I feel like I got a lot of similar questions. A lot of people think that Step 2 is easier than Step 1, so they don't really study as hard or as much. And I mean, I agree. I don't think I put in the amount of effort that I did for Step 1, but you have to think about it differently. For Step 2, it's all about what you learn in your clinical rotation, so that's a whole nother way of learning. So for Step 1, when I would read our first aid textbook with all of the stuff in there, I didn't do that for Step 2 because I felt like my rotations was a good way of kind of locking that knowledge in. And then I would just do a bunch of practice questions. So I did UWorld all over again after I did a little bit of AMBOSS, and then I did the practice assessments. Looking back, I don't really think any more work or any more studying would have helped. I think I was kind of at my peak or close to it, which is the goal. I mean, if you hit your peak and then you end up testing 2 weeks later, you might forget some stuff, but I think I peaked this week. And it's hard to say that I wish I didn't, like, I don't think I needed to study anymore. I don't think it would have done much, because obviously there were things on the test that I had never seen before or never heard of. And that's kind of like customary with these exams. I mean, it's just like, you go there, you could be totally prepared, you could have read all the books and done that, and there's still going to be things that either you're going to miss where the way they put it in the question, or you're going to miss just because you don't have the knowledge, that information. And it's hard because it breaks down your confidence a little bit in the middle of the test when you come in feeling so prepared and you take all these practice tests and they go well, and then you get in there and you see questions and things you've never heard of before, like you start questioning yourself and all that kind of stuff. But you just got to keep on pushing through, and you got to understand that that's kind of how these tests are. But ultimately, I don't have any regrets. I am happy that it's over. I'm glad that I was able to get it over with. I know a lot of my friends who got canceled because of the pandemic are now stuck taking it in August and later in the fall, so I'm really happy that I got it taken care of and done, and I hope it all goes well. So I'll find out in 3 or 4 weeks, and I'll hop on and give you guys my thoughts. I also want to post a video about like my study strategies, not only for this, but definitely for step 1 as well. So if you're interested in hearing anything about that, make sure you follow up with the rest of my videos and hit that subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date. Also, I want to hear from you guys. If any of you guys have taken step 2 before, give me your thoughts in the comments of what you thought right after. But thanks again for tuning in to Med Advice. As always, I'll see you next time.